Is that time? Is that time that we review NXT? It's been a good WWE week,
It's
and
time for you to go to bed.
hopefully, well, it's also kind of time for that as well. But we are here to do NXT. This is the June 7th, 2017 episode of NXT.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna say NXT. This is your love.
That would be terrible and not a good plan at all. I'm Mike. He's Byron.
What up?
And let's kick this off. So we just open it up with a hype package for tonight. Nothing wrong with that. And then we get a tag match between Heavy Machinery versus Victor Andrews and Lars Sullivan.
I have it written as Machinery versus Job Guy and Big Fucking Lars.
Pretty much the case. Would you like to take us through this match?
I have some notes. The notes state Lars is going to get a monster push. Ooh, maybe not with that voice. And then I did a little bit, actually, while the match was on, I did a little poking around, and it turns out that literally everybody in any kind of authority thinks that this guy is going to be the next guy. Like, this is the next Brock Lesnar. I don't know about that, but apparently Brock Lesnar's worked out with him, and even Brock Lesnar says he's the next Brock Lesnar.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make me think something. Although, to me, the next Brock Lesnar is someone who has a legitimate combat sports background, and I'm not aware of this guy having anything.
No, not that I'm aware of. I couldn't really find much information on him. It's just that he is a massive individual. Apparently, his hands are exactly the same size as Andre the Giant's hands. Even though he's not, I don't know how tall he is. I couldn't really find much information. He's over 6 feet tall, but he's not 6.5. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3", but he's just got caveman.
I would think he's not that far from 6.5 feet tall, just based on the comparison to Tucker Knight.
That's true. I didn't think about looking him up for scale, but yeah, he's definitely not as tall as Tucker Knight, but not as short as Dozer. Mm-hmm. So yeah, basically, I don't have much in the way of notes for this, but there was a good display of power where he basically caught Tucker and hefted him around. And then and the next note here says, job guy doing job guy things. And the final thought of the whole scenario was that it was an acceptable match. Everybody got their stuff over, and there was a job guy involved.
Pretty acceptable match. It did its job. You had a job guy there to take the fall, which came after a compactor, which is a pretty cool move.
Yeah.
And Lars Sullivan's a bit of a monster. Heavy Machinery are monsters. Just really all I have to say. Not tremendously heavy. It was weird that the job guy actually got a promo before the match. Like one of those inset promos where he was talking about being nervous, but this is a huge opportunity. So that was interesting. It was a neat touch. And then after the match, Sullivan beat the crap out of Andrews for losing the match. So
that I think that promo was mostly to just get Sullivan over, just to kind of also get his hand in frame, the giant hand on his shoulder. That was all good. So that worked.
I will say I'm not crazy about the name Lars Sullivan.
They'll just drop it to Lars at some point. They always do that. But
it's the Lars part that actually kind of was weird.
I'm fine with Lars. They don't have a Lars.
This is true. Then we had a recap of the tag match from last week with Sanity. And then we got a very brief mic spot for Killian Dane talking about no one is safe, especially not No Way Jose.
Yeah.
It did its job. Money in the Bank promo package. Then we had Roderick Strong in the ring. Roddy's promos have always been kind of the weakest part of his game, in my opinion. And
yeah, he was very, very sincere in what he said, which will take him a long way. And the rest can kind of, I don't know, has anybody really given him the opportunity to develop on the mic anywhere? Because I've always only just seen him in the ring.
He was ROH champion, and they did have him on the mic a lot, and then they put Truth Martini with him to try to lessen the burden. I just think he doesn't really have... He just doesn't have that X factor on the mic. But you can work around that. You can work around that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got tremendous sympathy. He does get that babyface sincerity in there. And I really do believe that he's saying what he means, and whether or not that's part of his character or just the honest truth, I don't know, but it's effective.
Well, it seems like Roddy Strong's character right now is just Roddy Strong.
Yeah, pretty much.
All there's to it. Bobby Roode came out. I like Bobby Roode on the mic, and this made this that much better.
Yeah, but why was he using toilet paper to wipe his face?
That was a little bit weird. Maybe that was just what they had handy. I don't know.
I have notes. The notes say, "Hey, it's Roberto Rude. Why is he using TP? Why is there TP stuck to his face?"
It might have just been what was handy. I don't know.
Could be. Hey, give me something. Give me a hanky. I got some TP.
The gist of the promos basically is Roddy Strong wants a title shot, which I mean makes sense. He lost to Itami in a number one contenders match, and then has beaten Sanity 2 weeks in a row. So there's just not really anywhere else for him to go. And Bobby Roode basically said, "You're not really worth it. You're not ready for it. And someday I'll take a selfie with you for you and your kid, and you could say that's the champ." And Daddy got to stand next to him, which was pretty good. So, all good stuff here. Then we had Nikki Cross backstage. She is quite possibly even more insane than usual, which well,
I mean,
nothing but good things.
They've finally given her character a goal to go after, and now it's kind of, making her crazy. And my note for this segment is Nikki Cross is crazy hot and crazy.
Yeah, I would agree with both those things. We get a brief hype package for the three-way between Asuka, Ruby Riott, and Nikki Cross, along with basically Oni Lorcan's facing Hideo Itami tonight. Get hyped! And then we had an NXT book package, and then an Authors of Pain package. So, a lot of packages. Then we had Sarah Logan versus Peyton Royce. My first note on this is that Sarah Logan has actually really good facial expressions, and that could be good, but her wrestling definitely needs work. She didn't get great height on her drop kick, and didn't really see enough of all the other stuff to really make much of an opinion of her as an in-ring competitor. But the facials were good, so there is some promise there. Peyton Royce is a better wrestler than they tend to give the basically the pretty mean girl gimmick. The Candice Michelle, the Michelle McCool, Layla L gimmick. This is, a seriously better wrestler than that, but
this is crazy Mary Dawson. I just looked her up.
Mm-hmm.
I was unaware that this was Crazy Mary Dobson.
I was unaware looking at her that it was too, actually.
I
know Crazy Mary.
I'm not familiar with her at all, but I've heard the name a bunch. So I think this was just like first match on TV kind of jitters, and they paired her with people that really weren't prepared to have an actual match.
Mm-hmm.
I've got written down Sarah Logan versus Bionic Twosome. Mm-hmm. And first note, I am prepared to be annoyed with this match. Followed by, there's a pretty good kick. One of the, I can't remember, Billy, Peyton, whatever the hell.
Peyton was the one in the ring.
Peyton Billy Kay hit the spin kick, was pretty good kick, and then there was horrible chicken cackling for an extended period of time, which was weird.
Yeah, the only part of the match that really kind of annoyed me is there was like a 1.5 count spot where Logan kicked out. I don't know if maybe she kicked out too early or something, but the heels were like, that was 3. I'm like, that's just, like, let's never do that again. Like, at least have a 2 count if you're going to do that.
It's their whole thing is that they're dumb and annoying.
That works, I guess.
I did like I have a note here, the old chin rub to the skull, classic Steamboat. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really weird and also just kind of different and cool. They actually did a cool thing that, like, why not? Just dig it in there. Just do something a bit different. I find that refreshing. And then she actually had some good suplexes in there. So the further note was good moves, totally obscured by hyper annoying shrieking. And then Crazy Mary Logan hit the Shining Wizard from Hell, which was awesome, which immediately woke me up. And then after a bit, there was a finish, and my final note to the match was, I'm confused. I thought these two were supposed to be job chicks to the new chicks.
I would have probably put Crazy Mary Dobson over, knowing that this is Crazy Mary Dobson now. Yeah. My earlier complaints about her maybe not knowing much about the ring is completely avoided because, well, I had that impression watching this match. Now that I know who it is, I'm more intrigued.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that they have to put the chronically annoying 2 job over because they're getting it into a feud against Ember Moon.
That's also,
So,
at some point, they also just need to pick up a win or two just to retain some level of relevancy.
yeah.
The only other thing I noted was that earlier in the match, Peyton Royce hit a DVD, which I was pretty sure was going to be the finish, and then the finish wound up being a fisherman's suplex. So, little unhappy with that. If you're going to let her do a DVD, have it be the finish.
Yeah.
Then we had Andrade Cien Almost going to party with some ladies, and another later came up and slapped him. So
I think that lady is, and I may be wrong about this, but I think that's your boy Austin Aries' girlfriend / fiance or something.
Could be.
Because I know she was supposed to be debuting. They signed her, and she was supposed to be debuting soon. So that might be her.
I didn't pay particularly enough attention to really be able to say yes or no on that.
God, it's like you didn't even pay attention.
I don't really pay attention to these kind of backstage bits, I'll be honest.
Jeez.
Then we had a Seth Rollins bio package, because they're doing a bio on him. Yeah, you just skip things. I just don't pay great attention. And then we had a Hideo Itami versus Oni Lorcan.
Skipped it? No, I didn't skip it.
I'm going to say you better not have skipped this.
No, I did not skip this. I have it written down as Kenta Oni because I'm big into shorthand and a huge mark for myself. Yeah. This was stiff, and I liked it. That's pretty much my first note is witness the stiffness.
Yeah.
Followed by Cabby Ashy style. Thanks, Percy.
Basically, this was a pretty stiff match. Oni Lorcan, it never ceases to amaze me how awkward he is. Like, never.
Yeah, but he seems to. It's weird. It's like some sort of a predictable awkwardness. Whereas Edge was just never able to swing in the ring.
Like, I don't even mean that as a negative thing. Just like, it's kind of like one of those things. Like, there are fighters in the UFC and stuff that are just like, how do you really prepare for this? Because no one moves like this.
Yeah, pretty much. My third note is never, ever, ever tell Oni, come on, ever. He started he hit a chop, and Kenta sold it a bit, and then he just kind of stood there, and he hit him with another chop harder, and then he started going, come on, come on, come on, and Oni went harder and harder and harder and harder, and then eventually there was a massive European uppercut that I thought was borderline shoot style, might have been, and Oni just he went ballistic, and I don't mean crazy. I mean he if you want to look up a physics term, he was very, very energetic and ballistic around the ring. He was just giving her, and might not tell him come on ever again unless you're prepared for the consequences.
Kinda, yeah. This was
a heel swerve.
The one downside of this match is that these two could put on an even better match.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the only. But this was a story match to get over Hitami going heel, so I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. The heel kind of came actually very early on. Hideo Itami didn't do a clean break, like he slapped Lorcan on the break. And then later in the match, he did a bit of a playing possum bit where it's like, my knee is hurt, ref, get in here, break it up, and then kicked Lorcan in the knee.
Yeah.
And then did 3 GTSs, was going to do a 4th, and then Cassius Ohno came out to stop him. And we got a little shoving match, and the referee throws the match out.
Yep.
Minor annoyance. Should that not just be a DQ win for Itami? Because, I mean, technically, Cassius Ohno did come out there. He was not in the match. He did interfere.
No, because he was trying to stop... Because Kenta would not listen to his instructions, so he just threw the match out. He's going to throw the match out anyway.
Yeah, but is there really an instruction in the handbook that says you are not allowed to kick more ass?
You're not allowed to brutalize a downed opponent? Yeah, probably there is.
I would just call for like a TKO stoppage.
I have a note in here after the heel turn kick The receipt, because he started laying in like the Kenta kicks that you know and love, and I liked it.
Then we got a Drew McIntyre package. He will be on next week's show.
Probably skipped it.
Yeah, he will be on next week's show, so that's cool. We got an Ember Moon package where, to be honest, I'd like her promos to have like a little more face fire in them. There's something not quite there about them.
Yeah, she's pretty bland.
She wants another shot at the title, another opportunity. She came up short once and then was denied an opportunity. But she's going to go after Peyton Royce and Billie Kay first. So we will get that. And it probably won't be particularly good, but it won't be terrible either.
Yeah, I only have my note here says Ember promo. Poor grammar at the end. She said the instead of the for something. I don't remember exactly what the sentence was, but there was definitely a misspeak. Not as bad as Angle, and not as bad as Shane O'Mac, but could be better.
Mm-hmm. And you would think that I have higher expectations for Kurt Angle and Shane O'Mac, so it's fine. Then we had No Way Jose versus Killian Dane.
I had a question about the theme song. Is this one specifically for Killian Dane, or is this this can't be like a whole new theme song for Sanity? I'm assuming.
I think all of the four of them have like minor differences to the theme.
This was a pretty, I wouldn't say huge dramatic shift, but it was a pretty big shift in theme songs.
But I've noticed this when Alexander Wolf comes out, like to do a match where he's not in a tag or whatever. Each one of them do have, it seems like a slight variation on theme. And I kind of like that actually, because it keeps the stable together, but at the same time gives them a little bit of a different feel to them, as opposed to like say Evolution, where Randy Orton got his own deal, but that was about it.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that before. Like I didn't notice Nikki Cross having a different theme song, so this was the first one I noticed. I had noticed that before.
My only real gripe about this match is that we got a commercial right in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's WWE for you. Let's put a commercial in a match that we have on a streaming
on the network.
For fuck's sake, dude. I don't have many notes about this match. It was okay. I really laughed hard when they started the Fuzzy Wuzzy chant. I thought the airplane spin cutter was fucking awesome. And it was fine. Like everything else was great. Also, I did notice throughout the night when they were doing the Too Sweet chant, when they counting the pinfall, the majority of the crowd seemed really embarrassed that they were actually doing it, and I thought that was funny too.
Okay.
They just said 1, 2, sweet. I can't believe we're doing this.
Yeah, that really unenthusiastic way of finishing it off.
It made me giggle.
Yeah, not a lot of spots to talk about in this match. Not a fantastic match, but in no way bad, but not one that you'd really go back and watch again. Mostly it was Dane in control, with Jose getting in like kind of blitzes of offense that like the hot running wild a little bit. And then we ended up with Jose briefly in control, and Dane headbutts him, hits a pretty damn good drop kick. And then the Ulster Plantation for the 3 count.
AKA the sloppiest one-winged angel in the world.
Yeah, that could use some work. Also, the Ulster Plantation. I'm just not big on the name of that finisher.
Really. It's got some historical significance, but not to anybody outside of the UK.
Like, I'm aware of the historical significance, but I'm not big on historical significant names for things that are not going to necessarily be known by most of your audience.
I think we should, in the wrestling sim, so one of us needs to adopt a finisher and name it the Crimean War.
I mean, we kind of already have that. We do have a 2-man finisher called Vimy Ridge.
That's fucking funny. Do we only use that in Europe or what?
Oh, well, I mean, we use it wherever we go, but... It's you holding a guy in a torture rack position, and I hit a guillotine leg drop.
That's pretty good. Didn't somebody already use that? I think somebody did.
Oh, probably. I mean, our moves are not necessarily original. Like some of our Mad Max themed stuff is just a lot of moves, but which kind of makes it original, but it's really just a lot of moves.
I'm fine with it.
Anyways, you know what? The show was good. The matches were nothing. There were no great matches. Like, there's no match that I'm going to go back and watch again. Because Kenta Oni, though, like, I know that can be better. As a result, It's not really a rewatch. Whereas Sarah Logan, Peyton Royce, now knowing that that's Crazy Mary Dobson, I know that can be better. And then the first and the... I don't think Killian Dane, No Way Jose is just a great combination in the ring. I think that's a bit of oil and water. Just it's not going to really mix well.
I think and this is a weird criticism, but I think if Jose was in better physical shape, you could sell that as a much better match. Like, you could sell him lifting Dane up, and you could sell him doing, different moves and get escaping power moves and things like that.
Possibly. And then Heavy Machinery versus Andrews and Sullivan. It was a squash match with a competitive component at the beginning. So, while it got me interested in seeing more of Heavy Machinery and more of Lars Sullivan, it's not really worth a rewatch.
Bring me Davey Richards.
I would love, but WWE has apparently offered Davey Richards stuff before, and he's turned them down.
That is weird.
What it is he likes the freedom that working for smaller companies provides him. Like,
fair enough.
He does not want to, like, for the longest time he wouldn't even sign with TNA. Forget WWE, because TNA was like, no, you'd be exclusive to us. He'd be like, anytime you throw the word exclusivity at Davey Richards, he seems to say, nope.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, like, that's the thing. Davey Richards, A, he doesn't want to change his style. B, he doesn't seem to want to be exclusive. So I would bet money we never see him in WWE. And if it's his choice, I have no problem with that.
I have a huge problem. No, I don't have that budget. I would love him to go work in Japan, because I just want to see him wrestle.
I've seen him work in Japan before.
Yeah, he has, but I want to see more.
When he joined Sweet and Sour Incorporated, he went to Japan.
Yeah, but
that was kind of how they delayed his feud with Roddy Strong, which was actually, I thought, was actually really intelligent by ROH. So,
but I want to see Davey Richards versus Big Mike. And I want to see Davey Richards versus Stone Pitbull. And I want to see Davey Richards versus Okada and Omega and Naito and Evil. Well, maybe not Evil, maybe Sonata.
Ooh. I've seen him versus Sonata. It was very good.
Excellent.
I've also seen him versus Pitbull. So, 2 of those things have happened.
Well, Sugar Dog Biscuits. I'll have to hit the internet.
So, well, I would say we're not really excited about anything from this card, except for maybe Lork and Atami. But it was a good show. It advanced some storylines as needed. It was good. Which means, you know what? This was a really good week for WWE, because they had 4 reasonably good shows. We really liked Raw and 205 Live. You were lukewarm on SmackDown. I liked it.
There were moments, but if you open up the whole show with half an hour of shit that I could do without, it kind of sets a bad tone.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what they do, and I wish they would stop doing that. Like, if we go back 10 years, you open the match with a match, or open the show with a match, and that got the crowd kind of energized and made the rest of the show better, and they won't do that with anything but NXT and maybe 205 Live at this point. And that's the unfortunate part of this.
Yarp.
So, good stuff from WWE. Tomorrow, we're going to watch some Lucha Underground.
Ooh,
we're going to enjoy that Lucha Underground.
Be still my palpitating spleen.
And we're going to catch ourselves up and no longer be behind on Lucha Underground.
We're another episode behind because they released another episode yesterday.
Yeah, but we can catch up with like 2-3 episode batches. Boom, and we're there.
Correct.
Ugh, excuse me.
Oh my god, you're dying.
I am not dying.
Call ambulance.
I'm not dying. I'm just sneezing.
Same thing.
That's all for this week, at least from WWE standpoint. We will still be doing some lucha. So, got that to look forward to. And that's it. You got anything you want to say to the people?
Get off my lawn.
His lawn is very large, so you might actually have to run.
This is my lawn. That's what they need to do. That's what they need to do. They need to give Reigns some sort of brain trauma, kayfabe thing, and then
I see where this is going.
And then he becomes. No, I don't know if you do. Well, maybe he becomes like he's just like very simple, and then you get Paul E. Dangerously who tries to do some mad scientist type stuff to him. And he becomes the lawnmower man, and so instead of this my yard, it becomes this my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, I totally saw where that was going.
Excellent.
We share a connection.
It's true.
Yeah, like I said, that is all we got. We don't, no pay-per-views this weekend, right? Nothing?
No, that's next weekend.
Mm-hmm. So that is all for WWE this week. It was a good week. I think this was the best week since we started doing the show, actually.
It's probably been the best week since well before WrestleMania.
Probably the case. So we're excited, we're hyped, we're happy, and that is all. And we will see you. We will talk to you tomorrow.